I'm your man Sade, and welcome to Peep TV Live. Today, I want to talk about us as a people. And when I say us as a people, I say us who acknowledge ourselves as Black. And first of all, I want you to share this with all your friends and family and everyone you know. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you do subscribe. All right. For me, I acknowledge myself as more than Black, more than African American, more than a person of color, more than a person of color. I acknowledge myself as more. And for us to change how everything is going on with us, we're going to have to look at ourselves as more than what we have been looking at ourselves as. We're going to have to look at ourselves as more than anyone else has ever seen us. I want to talk about P. Diddy, one of the most trending individuals on the internet right now. And I want to ask everyone a question. Why do you think that all of a sudden now it's important for us to know about P. Diddy's sexual preference and things of that nature? We have to be careful. We have to be careful because we are being gamed. That's what Peep Game TV is about. Peep Game TV is about putting everyone up on game, putting you up on the game that's being played on us as a people, and not just us who share the same skin as me. The game is being played on everyone, and if you examine and you look on, you look at what's going on in the country, you'll see that we are being gamed. You'll see that we're being gamed. You'll see that they're playing games on us. And the way I look at it as the United States of America is a virus. And that virus has spread it and created a diseased mind in the African American, the people of color, the blacks, the so-called Negro, niggers, as well as, don't get it twisted, it's also affect white, Asian, Latinos, and everyone, because the virus is about separation. The virus is about creating a disease within the minds of the individuals to separate from each other, to feel that we cannot work together. And the reality is, we have the ability to work together. We can do whatever we choose to do as a nation, as a people. We have the ability to do that. But first, we got to believe that we can do it. And we got to start putting the work in so that we can do it. Oh, and I wanted to get back to P. Diddy. Now, let's examine how many times have we seen this scenario where we get an entertainer starts doing well, wants to purchase now, wants to purchase something. Look what happened with R. Kelly. Look what happened with Bill Cosby. All of a sudden, people sex lives become so important. And the real sad part is they use us to take down us. You know, I was talking to one of my boys, and he was like, "Yo, man, what P Diddy doing is messed up. He got people doing things for, you know." And at the end of the day, what the important thing is, why are they giving this information? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Why are they putting all this information about P. Diddy after he gets the media channel revolt? And we all know what revolt means. That means go against the grain. And because he's going against the grain, this is my personal belief. Because he's going against the grain, they decide that, and when I say they, I mean what many of you probably learned in school and forgot about it, the colonizers. The colonizers, and don't forget, colonizers don't only come as European. Colonizers look just like you and me. These are people who agenda is to keep the power structure the way it is, to allow the power structure to remain the same and dominate over the what we call the indigenous people, the people who were controlling the land first, the first people who was on the land. You have people who are called colonizers who come to the land, make a state, create a government, and subject the original people to their government. And once you subject someone to your government, you subject them to your laws. Then they have to follow your laws, which we are doing. And how many of you are happy with the situation the way it is? How many of you wish you could do something about the taxes? How many of you wish that you could do something about the education system? How many of you wish that you could do something about the social injustice? How many of you wish that you can make changes in your neighborhood? Now, all these things you and I are capable of doing. We just have to understand that we are more than black, more than African American, more than people of color, more than Negroes, more than athletes, more than video personalities. We're more. And to be more, we have to do more. We have to be able to shake off all of the old knowledge, so called technology that was given to us, and take in some new knowledge. And that new knowledge is being independent, being independent of so called government, the foreign government that is holding us basically captive. Because at the end of the day, we all realize that it's not even about money. Because if it was about money, are totally, let me rephrase that, totally about money, then they wouldn't be going after the people that they go after, and they wouldn't be able to hush people up the way that they hush people up. At the end of the day, yes, money is important. We, as so called black people, spend the most money on trivial things that don't bring any revenue back to us. And we have the ability to change that. We have to do what it is that we're capable of. And in order to be capable, you and I have to make self changes, self sacrifices. We have to be able to turn away from those things that we like, or some of us say we love to do. Partying every weekend, drinking every weekend, or drinking every day, smoking weed, taking pills, all of those things. We have to be able to rein those things in. We have to be able to decrease these things in order to cease doing these things. And it only benefit us. You know, many of us, you hear conversations. I was on Keeping It Real last night, and a young lady asked about her son and how to keep him from getting caught up in the violence and what's going on, around him. And, I didn't really get a chance to give her, you know, the answer the way I would have liked to have given it to her. But so the thing is, teach him that he don't have to follow anybody. Teach him that he don't have to be a part of something if he believes it's not right. Teach him to respect himself and respect others. Teach him that integrity and honor is important. These things are what we need to be teaching the young people, because at the end of the day, the young people are the future. And if we're not able to teach them in a manner to let them be able to take over where we leave off, we didn't do our job. So let's start reining back in what we need to do. Let's start doing what it is that, as human beings, we're capable of doing. There's one thing: we talk about love, we talk about finding someone and falling in love. Many people talk about that. There's so much talk about falling in love till the main objective is being missing. What about compatibility? What about finding somebody that you and that individual can be compatible? Then learn to love. Falling in love, my personal opinion, is loving someone based on what you want them to be, based on what you think they are, or based on what they present themselves to you. That's falling in love. Learning to love is learning to love an individual the way that they are, flaws and all. Learning to love a person even if you don't always agree with what they do. We, as the so called human race, are racing to the most negative things. You can tell by what is posted on the internet. Whenever it's something negative, it goes viral. Whenever it's something positive that can help people elevate to the higher levels of self, which is your mind, elevating your mind to a higher level, you barely get any views. People don't want to share it. Listen, people, we all are here together. No matter what race, creed, color, we all are here together. Now, don't get me wrong. My sole objective is, to help the people that I'm a part of. I mean, at the end of the day, you wouldn't tell a man, forget about your family and help everybody else. So that's all that I'm about. Yeah, my family first, which is the people that I'm a part of, and everybody else comes next. Everybody else does it. So it's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is when we don't have people treating each other the way that they want to be treated. And that's in any walk of life. Look at the two individuals that are running for president of so-called United States of America. One's 81, one's 77. Now, what other job would hire individuals at those ages? And peep game, let me put you up on this game. Now, they talk about United States. They talk about democracy. Anybody who watched this, please leave a comment or an explanation what you think democracy is. Because personally, I don't really have a clue. I don't really see what democracy is because based on what it said it's supposed to be and based on what it is, it don't line up. They, the government, this foreign government, this virus have us believing, pardon me, have us believing that it's for the people, that this government is here to make a better life for you and I. Where's the evidence? Really? Where's the evidence of this government doing what it says it's going to do? And yeah, you have a few people who are say America is the best place in the world. And a lot of those people haven't even left America. Now, the message that I'm giving is to those of you who are tired of the so-called government and wants to do something other or wants to see something done other than this government because we've seen what this government is capable of. We see all over the world what is happening with the people who are now governing the world. So, my personal belief is that every indigenous people, every people who are the first on that land should come together and form their own government and start connecting with each other all across the land. Like let's be real. And you know, I don't let's make it clear. I don't dislike European people. I don't dislike white people. I don't dislike anyone. However, why is it so difficult and so frowned upon for people who share the complexion of this copper colored people to be able to work together, to be able to work in different countries and be able to import and export products? Why is that so difficult? Why is that frowned upon? You know, so for me, I personally believe that those of us who believe that we are more than black, more than African American, more than people of color, more than a Negro, more than a nigger, we need to put together our own constitutions, get our own three branches of government, and do what it is, send it, you know, do what it is that we need to do. I don't want to get too deep in it because every time I get into it, I'm told that by people that I'm close to is how is it going to benefit you that we come together and put our own government? How would that benefit us? For me, I'd see that we would have a connection to the people that represent us. Many of us who copper color skinned people, who do we really have to represent us? At the end of the day, if millions of us and you have maybe 20, 30 people, that's not representation. So, as I was saying, we have to make some changes and we have to work on what we are able to change without any help from the government, any help from anyone else besides us. We have millionaires, we have billionaires. And getting back to Puffy being a billionaire, now they're attacking him. I saw him crying out. Somebody help him. And my thing to all of you is withhold your judgment. Withhold your judgment on the brother. Don't crucify the brother without facts. I mean, how do you get facts? For me, one of the most difficult things to prove is a sexual act because that's normally between the people in their own private area. So let's not continue to be eating the flesh and crucifying each other based on what the media or what the virus tells us to attack and attack each other. And we're attacking each other and we're taking each other down. And many of many of you in the entertainment business are being used. You're being used to exploit your own people because you have an influence over your people. You're being used to exploit them for the sake of some money. And at the end of the day, look, money is good, but not if you have to give your soul, and not if you have to degrade yourself or mislead your people. Money's not that important when it comes to that. And many of you have the talent, the skills, and all that you need. This is the reason that you're targeted. You're targeted because when they see you and they see what you're capable of and they see your talents and skills and they see that you have a large following, they want to scoop that up and direct you into the way that they want to direct you. We have to decrease that. First, before you stop anything, you have to decrease it. So let's decrease allowing that to happen. Let's decrease allowing ourselves to be played, to be gamed, to be used, to be put on a pedestal for others to watch, only to be taken down if you don't follow orders. See, what type of life is that? Many individuals are being caught up in that situation. Many of our so-called rich, powerful people are being caught up in that situation, being used as puppets, being played. So it's up to us. And for those of you individuals, it's up to you. You have to make the decision not to compromise your integrity, not to compromise who you are as an individual. Know that there are young people looking up to you. And those young people want to be like you. And if they want to be like you, what's going to happen is you're going to mislead these young people. And there's so many young people who are being misled to a crying shame. And we, as a whole, have to be able to look at ourselves, examine our actions, examine how we maneuver, and be able to change that. The only thing that we have power over is ourselves. And if we can't control us, what can we control? So let's start controlling ourselves. Let's get back to family values. This is what we have to do. We have to actually start sitting down, having dinner together, being able to apologize and be sincere with your apology. Meaning that when you apologize for something, you don't run back the next day and do that same thing. Being able to forgive each other, because at the end of the day, forgiving someone is to help you grow, not so much for them. However, we hold grudges, and at the end of the day, what is the grudge about? A grudge is something you holding on in your heart that's making you sick. So let it go. We have to show each other more grace. We have the ability to stop all the negative things that's going on in our neighborhoods, all the negative things that's going on in our families. However, we have to hold ourselves accountable, hold ourselves to a higher standard. The standards that we've been taking on, it's been low level. We so caught up on fashion. We so caught up on appearance. But what about character? What about what's inside of us? We so focused on the outside, but we're not working on the inside. And that goes in two ways. That means inside of you, your self, which is your temple, your domain, as well as inside your homes. We have to start correcting our children. We talk about reparations. Many people talking about they want reparations. Reparations is nothing but repairing. We have to repair what's wrong in our lives. We have to do the we. My suggestion. Look, let me rephrase that. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. However, for those of you who want a better life, who want to see change, who want to see growth, who want to see evolution, then it's incumbent that you make those changes. You make those changes within yourselves and within your family members. You have the ability. You and only you can change you. I'm only here just to put you up on some game so you can peep what's going on around us and we can start fixing what's going on around us and stop begging and having our hands out and thinking that the so-called government is going to fix what's wrong with us. No one can fix what's wrong with us except us. And we have to come to the realization that that's a fact. That's the truth. That's no lie. That's no take all the cut off it and look at it for what it is. We have the ability to fix what's wrong with us. And it has to start with each and every individual working on themselves, checking yourself. Because some of us, some of you are so hateful. You hate yourself, you hate other people, you spread hate. We don't it's time for that to stop. It's 2024. It's time for us to learn how to love, to start speaking the truth, to seek the peace, to be free of anything that holds us hostage and treat each other equally. That's what it's time for us. That's what it's time for us to do. Because if we can't do that, what do we expect? And what are we going to continue to see? We're going to continue to get the same thing because we're doing the same things. And if we don't change, our life don't change. No, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult at times, but the reward is so great. The reward of us refining and rebuilding ourselves individually and as a whole is so great, people, to the point that we need to start right now, this minute. We don't have the luxury to keep waiting. We don't have the luxury to keep playing around. We don't have the luxury to get caught up in propaganda about individuals whom we see as role models, and all of a sudden we let other people tell us who our role models is and who they're not, and who we should trust and who we should look up to and who we shouldn't. We we're smarter than that. We're wiser than that. Let's not allow other people to make suckers out of us anymore. It's happened too long, and as as we grow and as we unite, because we're more than anything that they ever saw, anything that the world has ever seen. We are more than that, and we have to know that. We have to begin to show that, not letting other people tell us who we are, not allowing other people to tell us how we should act, not allowing other people tell us how we should treat each other. All of these things we have control of and we must take control of. We don't have to go and vote for nobody to fix these. We don't have to do that. We don't have to run to Biden. We don't have to run to Trump. We don't need, we, all we need is each other. And we need to treat each other respectfully. We need to increase our understanding of each other. We need to be willing to learn about each other. And that's not just talking about carpet colored people when I'm saying this. I'm saying everyone who occupied his land, we need to be able to work together. We're here together, so what? Why are we going opposite ways? Let's work together because the very people who benefit off of our separation will continue to benefit as long as we deal with the separation. You know, the game is colorism. The game is having people look at each other based on the color of their skin or based on what they call themselves, not based on what we can do for each other individually, how we can help each other grow and prosper individually and as a unit. These are the important things. We've lost sight of what's important, and we've got caught up in trivial things that is not doing any of us much good. So I don't get caught up because I've come into sophisticated, self changing, life changing information. I'm not caught up in being black, white, you know, those type of things anymore. I'm not caught up in that. I'm caught up in the growth of us as humankind, as people, as growing to become greater together than falling apart because we're being separate. It's 2024. Let's get it started. Let's get started doing what it is that we all was put here for. Everybody was put here for a purpose. Instead of chasing a bag, find your purpose. Find what you're here for and work on that. You know, my purpose is to share information. My purpose is to show people how to love by being an example of it. That's my purpose. Yeah, I went through a lot of things to get to this point, and we all gonna go through our journey to get to where we gotta get. But at the end of the day, we can get there. And that's what it's about. Getting to where you need to be as a human being, as a person. Like I said, we're more than black, we're more than African American, we're more than Asian, we're more than Latinos, we're more. At the end of the day, we're more. And we have to, realize that and come to grips with that and do what it is that good people do, wise people do, people who want to grow beyond what we see now. So many people talk about what's wrong, but how do we fix what's wrong? How do we fix the problems? How do we change the situations that we're in? How do we stop the young people from killing each other? How do we stop the government from overtaxing us? How do we stop insurance companies from ripping us off? I mean, there's answers to all of that. And the answers is to let everyone become who they truly are. Yeah, everyone normally has a nationality. Everyone normally people tied to a land. That's normal. However, the so-called black, so-called white, so-called African American, that's not really tied to any land. I mean, how can you be tied to Africa and then tied to America? Do you have a dual citizenship? And many of you running around calling yourself African American, do you have a citizenship in Africa? And do you feel or are you being treated the way you should be treated as a citizen in so-called America? You know? So at the end of the day, it's about change, positive change. It's about changing the dynamics of what's been going on. It's about refining ourselves, making ourselves better than we were the day before. Each day, we should strive to make ourselves better than we were the day before. As an individual, as a human, and as a conglomerate, as a nation of people, as a as humanity. I mean, at the end of the day, what creates a war? Why do you have to have war? And if you have in war, it has to be for a reason. And the war based on my point of view, is because somebody's being mistreated. Somebody's not being treated equally. And we talk about how to get world peace. How do you get world peace? By treating people equally, by not mistreating people. People that rob and steal. Why? Because they don't have certain things. So they rob and steal. So if these people had just as much as the people that they was robbing stealing from, they wouldn't have a reason to rob or steal. So this is things that we have to repair. This is things that we have the ability to repair. The, this is the mindset of someone who's thinking on a higher level of self, someone who's thinking beyond self, someone who's thinking about the entire race, the entire human race, and beyond. We live in a universe. We live in a time where pretty much anything is possible. So, why don't we go for world peace? Why don't we strive for that? What's stopping us from having world peace? What's stopping us from learning how to love and learning how to treat each other as we want to be treated? No one is stopping us but us and the information that we take in. Some of us are taking in the wrong type of information and we're wondering why we're struggling. We're wondering why our life is so difficult. We're wondering why we're having so many hardships. So at the end of the day, I say we because I used to be a part of that. I used to be an individual that takes in the wrong information, listen to the wrong type of music, watch the wrong type of movies. You have to find a balance if you want to grow. You have to be you have to be willing to make the necessary changes. And remember, I can't make you do it. No one can make you do it. No one can force you to do anything. This has to be something that comes from in your heart and in your mind and in your soul that you want to change, that you want more for yourself, more for your family, more for the people that you belong to, and more for humanity. When I look around, I'm saddened by the family structure, by us as a people, and humanity included. So we're not the only ones, copper colored people are going through changes and turnarounds and ups and downs and all of this. This whole entire world is kind of messed up now because people are looking for the wrong things and not looking within to change what's going on outside of them. They're looking outside and trying to bring that in. No, everything you need to change, to make yourself better and make everything better around you is within you. It's right inside of you. We've been taught otherwise. However, it's in us because if we are a part of the creator that created everything in existence, we got carte blanche to that power. We just have to correct our actions to be able to draw from that power. We just have to be able to connect with that power. That's what we have to do. And this is about my time is about up. So in closing, I would like for you to share this with all the people you know and subscribe if you already haven't subscribed. And next week we'll be here and we'll do it again. And it's gonna get better. I'm striving to get better, and I want to see each of you strive to get better. because none of us can do this alone. We all need each other. So, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice to all. And I'm out.